But think about mayors like Frank Carbone, Fairfield Mayor, Blacktown Mayor, all of those places where essentially they go to Sydney, they go to Melbourne, and the people in the mayors, the mayors of the areas where people end up going are saying, hey, whoa, enough. Di Lee saying things like that. So, it's juggling knives politically.
It is juggling knives, absolutely. Does it work in Adelaide? Does it work in Tassie? I mean, Adelaide's got a 10% student accommodation rate that they can't
I think immigration is the big issue of the campaign that the Coalition haven't hit on enough. I think right around the country, housing crisis, cost of living crisis, everybody knows, driven by record immigration, out of control immigration. This is the point. It's not as if this is what Labor said it would do. It's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands more than their own plans. And I don't think they can mention that enough. And there's nothing xenophobic about it. It's about managing our immigrant nation properly.
That's right. But it's still, no one's really touching on the supply side as much as they need to. It's all just tinkering around the edges. And the biggest problem here, Chris, is the cost of building or renovating at the moment. It's totally out of control. And neither leader is talking about that. If you really want to talk about how to build homes, councils, get out of the way, but also the cost of labour. There's not enough tradies coming through.
Exactly.
But also,
so we've got all these immigrants, but no tradies coming in. Are the unions playing a role in that, perhaps?
But is it a problem with the number of immigrants, or we're not getting the right skills?
Both.
They're two very separate issues.
They're both, I
think. If you could fix the skilled migration issue, you'd be on your way somewhere.
Of course, but also I think that it speaks to what I hear in the conversation is a generational failure that we have had to tell kids it's okay to be a tradie. It's actually advantageous. It's good to be a tradie. I'm going way back to the Kim Beazley
See
world.
how much money they're making at the moment?
Yes,
which is one of the reasons.
All played plenty, and lots of watching us now.
Peter Dutton has Harry out there on the campaign trail with him, saying, "I'm proud my son's a tradie."
And I'll tell you, low to middle income, the instant asset write-off that Labor basically trashed down to $1,000 in the budget, then quickly, hurriedly shoved it up again for 12 months. There's a lot of tradies, ABNs, all right? And those people want the ability. So the idea of the working class only being the unionised, no. There's plenty of people out there being the subbies, being their own. Now, a poll just dropped from the Financial Review. This one is from the Freshwater organisation. At the halfway point, they say 50-50. Now, what's interesting about this is they say the primary vote of the Liberal Party is at 39, the Labor Party is at 32. But this is the even more interesting because they actually put the numbers on seats. They say the Coalition will win 9 seats at this upcoming election. Labor would lose 7, which would, of course, take it from the majority position of 76 down to 71. Now, let's imagine that is the final result. Well, obviously, guess who forms government? It'll be the current government. The nightmare scenario for Albanese is just how many he would need. Because Rebecca Sharkey, who has said Dutton gets the first crack at it, she's also said whoever has the most number of seats. That's a more stable person, but that's only 72. Then, of course, maybe Bob Cattett, that's only 73. Okay, you start looking around, Helen Haynes, who's to the left, that's 74, and then we're off to Tealtown. All right, we're off to Tealtown, we're off to Greenstown. That poll, and again, you're responding to it in real time, but the maths and all that matters is the seats, and we've seen the fall that's happened when it comes to the Coalition. Obviously, the Coalition would love to win an election, but if they end up in the mid to late 60s, then it's a better two-term option than where they've been. And for Labor, who's already pretty cocky, saying that some people saying we're on our way to 80, mate, they'd go needing 7. What do you think of that poll, Laura?
Well, you can't disagree with the trend. You can argue with individual polls 100%. Like Freshwater. The numbers are interesting, absolutely, but the trend has not been going Dutton and the Coalition's way since the campaign began. I've been thinking about as to why that is, and I think this debate tonight showed why in many ways. I thought Dutton was good, but he was cautious. Perhaps a bit too cautious. When he first became opposition leader, it was his era. I just want to get things done. I don't care if people love me. These are my ideas.
And the Voice, he took the 60-40 position in
Voice,
reverse.
Absolutely.
But he went, this is my line in the sand, I'll defend it.
Nuclear, he defended. He was across the detail. He still is. And people gave him a lot of credit for having balls to actually have a crack at something. I think since the campaign begun, and there's so much noise, there's so much feedback every day, there's, there's press conferences, the press gallery is in your face every day. You're getting question after question and you're being wedged on certain things. I think some of his best instincts are a little bit dampened at the moment. I think he needs to get that back. I think he looks like he's been too worried about being painted as being aggressive, because that's what Labor has been able to do. So it's really hard for him. But I just think that those instincts that he had when he first became leader and well into this term were spot on, and he needs to get a little bit of that.
Well, I think that's exactly what happened tonight, Paul. He got onto the front foot. And look, he does it. He's not aggressive in his manner.
You've taken this party in the most conservative bent it's ever been. I mean, that was not challenged by him or Peter Dutton, but that will be playing on TikTok tomorrow.
Well,
and I don't think
it's
that's
the nonsense
true.
they go on. But let's get back to this poll, though, right? Because it's only one poll.
Sure.
But if the Liberal Party gets a nationwide
they'd almost
primary
take that
vote
result.
of 39, I'm telling you, it's not going to be that hung parliament you're talking about. They'll just about win on 39, given what you're getting from One Nation and the others, because it's not going to be uniform, right? They're getting those swings in the outer suburban and regional seats, and Labor's vote and the Greens will be holding up in the cities. And you'll see some teal seats disappear if they get 39. They'd be very happy with a 39 primary. So that's very, very interesting. But of course, just one poll. And just one other thing. But when you talk about the trend in the polls, Labor hasn't been picking up anything.
Correct.
It's been a bit of the edge coming off the coalition primary vote. So that's what it's all about.
Where to,
Peter
though?
Dutton.
Trump for Patriots, One Nation.
No, One Nation.
Yeah, One Nation.
So that's what it is. Dutton's got to just attract people back to the coalition.
And that alone, in and of itself, I mean, Albo's saying tonight that Dutton's taken the party in the most conservative bent that it's been in recent times, or the modern era.
It's just a pointless...
I mean, that's not true, and this poll does show that. I mean, there's a lot of people on the right that don't think Dutton's been conservative enough, and every Conservative leader in the last 20 years.
But there's standard dross. That's a standard dross you get from a socialist left prime minister. Anyone who believes in private schools is some sort of.
But can I also say too? I think one of the issues that is fiddling with a lot of Liberals' heads, be it either the supporters, the advisors, or maybe even the principals, right, is the blitzkrieg on social media, I think, is giving them a distorted depiction of what people all over the country are seeing. Now, I think clearly Labor, multifaceted, hitting from every different angle. The idea that you don't even speak about what a policy is, you just play Ooga Booga music and put it with Darth Vader on it. I mean, this is a level of campaigning that I think is getting in their head a bit. And I think they do need to be reminded, as massive and important as that area is, and it ain't where everyone is. Can I just throw you one more thing about this poll? Because in real time we'll try and just, again, how issues are falling. It's one poll. Who knows, all right? We know where the greater trend is. We know where the polls and the bookies are, okay? Have a look at this. Because on the left-hand side in the yellow, the priority of issues. Cost of living, housing, healthcare, economy. All right. On the other side is who's winning that debate. Cost of living right now is 33 to Labor, 35 to the coalition, 32 with a neither. Housing is 35 to Labor, 31 to the coalition, 34, who knows. In healthcare, unsurprisingly, where the Prime Minister wants to get it, it's 42 to 31. On the economy, that's interesting here, it's 32 to 38. So Labor leads on welfare, healthcare, family, education, but employment, housing, all the same. Climate change, Labor up. Cost of living, Libs up. Industrial action, Labor up. Economy, Libs up. Infrastructure, Libs up. Tax, Libs up. Immigration, Libs up, 40 to 27. Defence, 42 to 27. And crime, that issue that they all want to pretend is not in this campaign, not allowed to be discussed.
Well, it hasn't been a feature, though.
They don't have electricity or energy in there?
At the sub-level. See, when I was, for my sins, watching, of course, the Bolt Report here on Sky News on the main computer, and on the side computer, I just happened to accidentally see what they were doing over there on the 7:30 report. And they were showing Katie Allen going around her seat of Chisholm, or trying to get the seat of Chisholm, the former member for Menzies, and guess what came up? Crime. And it was crime from people who spoke a second language at home. So, again, what's being said at the door-to-door level, what's being done at the letterbox level, these are all things none of us see, and we'll all sit there and be surprised about as such on the night.